hey, you have a great metabolism just for 20 years, have fun, eat that samosa, be happy.
मेरे बहुत सारे आखिरी सच है, but मुझे ट्रेन किया गया यहाँ पे नहीं बोलना उसके बारे में, तो मैं नहीं बोलूँगी.
तो मैं तो मतलब पूरा क्या कहते हैं प्ले एक्ट करता था घर पे बैठ के अकेला. मुझे किसी दोस्त की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. सो बचपन से ही आई हैव बीन इन दैट स्पेस. प्लस माय डैड वाज वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट, सो आई हैड टू ऑलवेज एक्ट विद हिम.
Hey guys, I'm Manjari Mukherjee and you're watching me on Popdiaries channel. When we talk about the absolute naked, unadulterated truth, you get a little uncomfortable, right? But today I'm in conversation with 4 brave hearts. They are chasing the Aakhri Sach. Well, you've guessed it absolutely right. I'm in conversation only on Popdiaries channel with the team of Aakhri Sach. And before we know a little bit more about this mysterious crime thriller, well, let me introduce them to you. Starting with the enigmatic, talented, and undoubtedly the heartthrob of the nation, Tamannaah Bhatia. Then the one who is pure talent, because he aces each and every character on screen. Well, it's none other than Abhishek Banerjee.
Thank you.
And the ace of the industry, like the entertainment industry, guys, none other than Preeti Seamers and Nikhil Nanda.
हो गया ना इंटरव्यू अभी.
Amazing.
You've introduced us so well. I think we're done.
That was like a
I think it's
Thank
good.
you so much, Popdiaries. So sweet of you. Acknowledge.
निकल से
You're
निकाल लो. कॉलेज में बढ़िया है अभी तो याद भी नहीं.
But you know what? When I watched the trailer, it left me feeling a little, honestly, it left me feeling a little uncomfortable. Because when you face the kind of, as I was saying, the naked truth of one's life, of one's feelings, even a relationship, you feel a little uncomfortable with yourself. When you were choosing this project, was there any inhibitions as producers and as actors?
I think it felt like a great opportunity to play a part where all of us at some point or time or the other are, are suppressing a lot of our fears, suppressing a lot of feelings in general. And inevitably we notice that never goes down well. It has different ways of coming out. Here there's a story which gave me a chance to channel that while playing Anya. She's a modern day girl who happens to be a cop. So she's constantly making choices, and every time she makes a choice, it has a consequence. And it's interesting because the workplace that she is in, like any other workplace, will have people who like her, people who don't like her, but I think she has a purpose that she needs to kind of follow up. But I think in that process sometimes we forget what we're actually feeling.
Yes.
And I feel like this show helped me kind of humanize this part of even someone in a very high pressure job. They're not machines, they're humans. So while they do these high pressure jobs, they still have a personal life, they still have a personal conflict going on, and regardless of that going on, they still do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, this felt like a great opportunity to tap into that.
Great. Abhishek, what about you?
I think for me it's like it was very interesting investigative family drama. I think it's this entire incident is through a cop's lens, and also it talks about a family which is a very close-knit family,
Yes.
but how things just go wrong.
Absolutely.
So yeah, for me it was just intriguing enough to say yes to it.
Okay.
I'll take it from what you said. As content creators, you have to make something that will make people think, something that will make them think, and it'll go home with them, because there's so much content that's happening right now. You have to stand out, and the only way you can is when someone takes that story with them back to sleep or discusses it with other people. And I think if that's what the trailer's done for you, then I think we've pretty much achieved. I don't know what the result of the show would be, but I think if this has happened, then we've pretty much achieved what we started out to do.
I think you definitely have nailed it.
Thank
We
you.
actually wanted to cover on the very underrated topic of mental health, which we brought it out.
I think the way that it has been crafted, like it is a third person point of view,
Yes.
because it's in a cop sense, just like Abhishek had also mentioned, and she also mentioned that it's a cop sense, it's a point of view from the cop's side, but still it deep dives into the character's mindset who are involved directly in the whole scene. So kudos to that.
I think it starts with a cop's lens and then becomes a very
Yes.
human lens for her.
Yes.
You know, that's the beauty
Yeah.
of the show.
Absolutely. Okay. I feel when you approach a character, you always need to approach it with a clean slate. And when you're doing multiple characters and you're going from one shoot to another, it's very difficult to achieve that. How do you suppose as an actor you do that effortlessly? Because each character comes out very effortlessly on screen. So yeah.
Actually, as difficult as your question may sound, I think the simplest way to answer that is to be in the moment. Because essentially as actors we are constantly pulled back into being there physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, in every way, just being present. And that's how I've navigated through a lot of parts that I've played, which were very different from each other, and I've always felt like I actually enjoyed that. And I feel like I'm more impactful when I jump from one thing that's very different to another thing that's completely, poles apart. So I actually enjoy that, and I feel like I perform better when I'm playing different parts back to back.
What about you, Abhishek?
Effort नहीं दिखता मतलब
नहीं एफर्ट मतलब काइंड ऑफ एफर्ट आपकी तरफ से इस तरह से होता है कि वो एफर्टलेस दिखता है स्क्रीन पे.
एफर्ट दिखता है ना because
Yes.
that's very important. एफर्ट बहुत डालते हैं हम लोग.
Pure talent. You don't have
No, sir, but I think that's what every actor wants to, that directors, producers, या audience से लोग
Abhishek, I
देखें
have
कि
to say
बहुत
this to
effort
you
दिखाया.
again that I think you're naturally born as an actor.
No. Yeah, probably I think that I would take, because I also feel that when I was even a child, I used to act, I used to have imaginary friends in my head because I was the only child.
Okay.
तो मैं तो मतलब पूरा क्या कहते हैं प्ले एक्ट करता था घर पे बैठ के अकेला. मुझे किसी दोस्त की ज़रूरत नहीं होती थी. So बचपन से ही I've been in that space. Plus my dad was very strict, so I had to always act with him. So I think that kind of training I got from my childhood and my family.
You still have imaginary friends?
Yeah.
Are they here?
Hi. What's up?
I could feel something behind my chair. Please can you tell him to move that side?
But he's not moving. He
He's
likes
not?
you. Either.
So they're boys basically. Okay.
Okay, over to the producers of the show. When fiction meets reality, the lines blur. Sometimes it becomes very murky and difficult to, draw that line of morality, especially on OTT. Because OTT, the audience is very large, very vast, and very diverse. How do you ensure that line, that unseen line, is not overcome?
You tell a story. See, we are inspired by a real event. So you tell a story in a way where you let the audience decide how they think the story ended, because it's not our business to give a conclusion to it, especially when so much of human energy is involved in the story, right? So for me, there is no right wrong anyway in life. It's a gray area, and I think if content also today, when people understand that, this show is also that you take what you want to take from it.
Yes.
So there is no conclusion, there is no correct, there is no right, there is no wrong. It's a journey of these two individuals. Their lives, even though they don't interconnect too much, they draw parallels to each other in many ways, and then it concludes in a way where you decide whether this was what he or she did, and in that situation was correct or not. I mean, that's what a storyteller should do.
Yes, very true.
So it's all human. Basically, we all are humans. So the only test or the parameter is that what we feel is right has to be shown to the audience.
I agree with you. Completely agree with you. Abhishek, I want to ask you this question. You've played so many different characters with so many different diverse arcs of their own. If there's a character that has deeply left a mark on you, like not necessarily that they have to be from a serious background, but something that you're carrying with you, like, yeah, this is a character close to my heart, what would that be?
Guan, the one which I'm playing right now, because also he's a very, very, very sweet human being.
Okay.
And he's a family man. And he's trying to really do a lot for his family. And personally, I have always stayed away from my family.
Okay.
So now probably I'm trying to build a more stronger and deeper relationship with my extended family. Otherwise, I did not really put any effort to that. But Bhuvan का पूरी जिंदगी I think उसी में गई है. So yeah, I mean I'm learning a lot of things from Bhuvan. I mean the right things.
Okay.
All the imaginary family members that come live
यही
for
बैठे
him.
यही बैठे.
Okay. Moving over to Tamannaah. From your debut in 2005 at the age of 15, okay, that's a very
15?
tender age. Yes,
मैंने क्या बोला?
she was 15.
पता है फूलों पर फूलों पे
To now.
चल के आई है हमारी लाइफ में.
15.
Just before the interview started, I was teasing her.
हम लोग तो
ऐसे वो कहते हैं ना
chemistry
फूलों
lab
में
में घुसने देते थे तो 15 में
लड़की
नहीं. I don't
बड़ी
think
हुई है
so.
वैसी लगती है. No scars, no marks.
मतलब
no
जब
nothing.
हमें
Look at this.
टेस्ट ट्यूब नहीं होल्ड करने देते थे, you were like acting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
So since that age to now, there's a vast experience that you've already had with different roles and many different industries as well. But if I have to compare only this one point, the portrayal of women or the reflection of women in both the South versus the Hindi film industry, what would you have to say about that?
I don't think it's so much about industries. Eventually, every film is a individual reflection of the makers, the teams that have come together to put out something. I played some really strong characters. The biggest that most people in India and globally would remember would be Bahubali, where it was largely a Telugu film which became something that India is known for globally. So I feel like I've always had a very, very interesting kind of scope in terms of performances, and I've had thankfully I've had filmmakers who've come to me with parts that even I didn't know I could play. Like definitely when Bahubali happened, the least I thought I could play a warrior princess in a world that was imaginary. But I think that was somewhere a trigger for me, and it was somewhat of a starting point where I understood that I don't think I can confine myself to the girl next door, and I shouldn't, because I'm not. And then I think I made choices where I kept exploring myself as an actor, and definitely from the time I started to now, parts are way better written today than they were at the beginning of my career. So the scope is way more now. There's a lot more there's a lot more detail, there's a lot more depth, there's a lot more, I mean, you're a whole person, you're not just someone's girlfriend, or you're not someone's so there's so much more to you as a person, and you're a whole person. So it's nice to play those people. And yeah, it doesn't even feel so, but I mean, I don't approach, at least when we shot Aakhri Sach, I keep saying this, that nobody, not Robbie, not me, not anybody on the set ever, like we never thought of Anya as a female cop. Like, she is just a cop. She
That's
is
the
doing
best
her
thing.
job, and
Yes.
she is doing what she's assigned to do. And I don't think this character really is, I think she has her own personal demons that she's fighting, but I don't think she's someone who's impacted by the chatter from outside. And even if she does hear it, I think the problem at hand is, or the case to solve is way bigger than any of her personal issues. So she brushes off a lot of her personal issues, which all of us do when we're at work, right? Like I'm sure there are times where you're at work and you might be getting an important call from home, but you can't take that because you're attending to your job. Similarly, Anya is someone who does that, but in the process of this realizes something very deep about herself. So yes, Aakhri Sach was very cathartic in that sense. It was really nice to understand that how much your surroundings, your family especially, is very, very important in how you perceive things, at least in the case of in a large family that exists in the show. And what supposedly seems like a very normal family, which they are, things can very well go south when things aren't addressed, and it can take strange turns.
Okay. Before I move on to the fun segment, one last question, because I ask this to all my guests. If at all there was a time where you are standing in front of your younger self and there was one advice that you would like to give them, what would that be? We'll start with Nikhil Nanda, sir.
Well, probably I would say don't take life so seriously.
Okay, Preeti.
I have so much going on in my head right now. I'm censoring. I would just say your time is the most valuable thing that you have. Spend it well and spend it on the right people.
Okay, Abhishek.
साइंस छोड़ दे, आर्ट्स ज्वाइन कर. मैंने अपने मैं स्कूल में पूरा साइंस किया, 11th में फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री, कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं थी. अब मुझे तब कोई बोलता नहीं था that you don't really need to only do what PCM to succeed in life, that you can do other subjects and all that. Which one? Arts. Great. काश मैं कॉलेज में मैंने जाके इंग्लिश लिटरेचर किया, बट देन उससे पहले आई वाज डूइंग साइंस.
Okay. Valuable lesson. Tamannaah.
I would just tell myself that, hey, you have a great metabolism just for 20 years. Have fun. Eat that samosa. Be happy. Yeah, I would.
This is also important.
No, I
Very
didn't stop. Of course not. I've done songs
still
after
stuck there, by the way.
eating
I'm still
samosas and yeah. So, but no, yeah. I just feel like I just value my metabolism when I was growing up, and I'd be like, listen, please enjoy it.
वो दो एक्स्ट्रा था.
छोले भटूरे.
Sir, I have to come come to Delhi to do that.
Okay. The fun concept is basically the Aakhri Sach confessions.
Okay.
And basically you have to be completely honest about
It's for
this.
them, na?
No,
It's for all of you.
what?
Okay.
अपने सच बोलने शुरू हो गए तो फिर तो काम
Okay, the
खत्म.
first one. Will you ever lie for your friends? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
All the
Many
time.
times.
All the time.
I also need my friends to lie for me, so which is very important.
Okay. That one person you always reach out to in crisis.
ये आखिरी सच का कैसे सवाल हुआ?
The name has to be honest.
It's actually सच वाला.
Actually, it's my brother Anand. Yeah.
Okay. Abhishek.
Yeah.
Crisis, my father, Baba. Yeah,
Strict.
he tells me.
Okay. Preeti.
Person?
Yes.
Okay, then that would be my sister, who's also the co-producer, Neeti.
Okay.
So my older brother.
Some of
Next
the feeling
question.
of
Which
love
ex would you like to
in
forget?
3 words.
Huh?
Some of the feeling of love in 3 words.
Oh my God.
Freedom, kindness, fun.
Okay.
Love, travel, conversations,
Okay.
and peace.
Nice.
Food, animals, and work.
Very ready.
All the things I love, yeah.
नहीं अच्छा.
Trust, respect, and love, of course. Love will have it.
What is
Okay.
love?
Okay. The last question. What is your Aakhri Sach?
मेरा प्रॉब्लम है कि मैं झूठ नहीं बोल सकती क्योंकि मुझे झूठ याद नहीं रहता. वो मेरी लाइफ का दिक्कत वो है कि मुझे याद नहीं रहता तो मैं नहीं बोल पाती
किसी को
झूठ.
भी नहीं रहता.
नहीं, द फनी पार्ट, या आई मीन मोस्टली नहीं रहता, बट लाइक सम पीपल कैन रिमेंबर.
बहुत लोग याद रखते हैं
आई
झूठ.
कांट.
मैं तो सच इसीलिए ही बोलता हूँ.
या
What is my आखिरी सच?
Yes. What is your Aakhri Sach?
I don't know. I don't know what's my आखिरी
He's
सच.
still
Honestly, I'm still trying to. आप इनसे पूछो तब तक आता हूँ.
मेरे बहुत सारे आखिरी सच है, बट मुझे ट्रेन किया गया यहाँ पे नहीं बोलना उसके बारे में. तो मैं नहीं बोलूंगी. मेरा आखिरी सच है कि ये शो आ रहा है 25th को और मास्टर्स अभी जाने हैं.
आज का आखिरी सच यही है.
मास्टर्स जाने.
आखिरी सच.
Okay, that was me, Manjari Mukherjee, with the team of Aakhri Sach. I am excited to watch this crime thriller, which is going to keep me on the edge of my seat, but also leave me with something to ponder upon. I hope you are also ready as audience to watch it as it streams on Disney Plus Hotstar. So don't forget to catch the Aakhri Sach. Bye.